Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. I nearly mucked up right away there, John.
That was because of me, Stephen. Singing Space Oddity.
Yeah, well,
as we counted
you were
down.
about to throw me under the bus, but you yanked me back just at the last minute. But listen, we've got a few things we'd like to talk about in the entertainment business, funnily enough. And first up is Jason Momoa. We know him as superhero Aquaman, but apparently Jason Momoa will voice Frosty The Snowman, John, in a new live-action CGI movie of beloved Christmas character. You sang the song there from, I think it was 1950 the song came out. Then there was a television series that came out in the late 60s. Now, Jason Momoa is lending his voice to the character in an upcoming live-action CGI version of the iconic Christmas story. Deadline.com reported this just yesterday. I think it must have come in after your live show last night, because I'm sure you'd have picked up on this. I'm sure you would have loved to have spoke about this yourself.
It was there. I daren't touch it when I was on my lonesome. I have not got enough in me to speak about this topic on my own. I picked the very safe topic, Stephen, which I feel that I can handle on my lonesome. I daren't touch this. I've never seen the original Frosty the Snowman. By all accounts, a 25-minute short animation. Not at all what we're going to get with this movie. This, as it says on the Mail Online, a paper I admittedly hate. I'm a more centre-left person. Left more than centre. They are right-wing scumbags in my book. So, you know what I mean? I can say it. They're scumbags. I'm not taking it back. So I'm not a fan of them, but look, they seem to have the finger on the pulse of this one. They're saying that it's going to be a live-action CGI sort of crossover mix, like what we've had with the likes of Paddington and Peter Rabbit, and I'm sure there's been other ones.
Yeah, we're talking about this all day, but I can't remember what we were talking about. Why? I can't remember.
I can't recall either, Stephen, really.
But it seems to be the road they are going down, John. It seems to be this is the way. I think we are moving away from the...
Oh no, my water's over there.
More so.
I'm not drinking.
You can widescreen to me at any point you want, John. You can go and get it.
Yes.
But I think this is the road that
I'll
the
do
studios...
It just now, in actual fact.
Yeah, no problem. I think this is
squeaking?
the road that studios are going down now. You know, I think it's just because, you know, this is... the way forward. I think because of this generation that you know are watching films now, or you know, kids films, this is what they're used to now. They don't want to see 2D. You know, they're not from my generation who don't mind watching Tom and Jerry like we talked about you know, a few weeks ago, which is going to keep the 2D tradition going. Scooby-Doo, Scoob, you know, was another one. Yeah, this just seems to be the road they're going down. But Jason Momoa, John, is the last person I would have thought of. But when I read this, I thought, well, he does have an iconic voice, you know him when you listen to his interviews, if you're listening on the radio or something like that, you know it's him. You know, he's just got one of those... My man, yeah. I hope he says that. I really hope he says that.
Frosty the Snowman, man.
Yeah, my snowman. You know,
you're taking me to the North Pole to save my life so I don't melt, my man. Thank you very much.
Why not?
Look, Stephen, it's out there. I'll have to say, been my first choice if I was a studio looking to cast the voice for Frosty the Snowman. It's certainly a different choice, but as you did say, he has very dulcet and distinctive tones, does Jason, so certainly not a controversial choice by any means. He does have a very cool voice, the guy. I think he can do anything, really. We've seen it. He
he's a talented guy.
Started off in Baywatch, I think in the late 90s.
I didn't know that.
Progressed into different roles, more serious roles. Game of Thrones is when he really came to prominence for me as Khal Drogo. And then obviously he went on and became Aquaman. He's been doing movies. That one you reviewed, I think, Braven or something.
Braven, yeah.
That was a decent
really good,
movie.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think he's delved into the sort of animation child-friendly demographic. Some would say that obviously playing Aquaman is child-friendly. It's comic book. Children will sort of be drawn to that. But even though it was lighter than what we'd seen in the likes of Dawn of Justice and Man of Steel, it was still little dark elements in there, not for young children. This being a Christmas movie, it's certainly going to attract a younger demographic. So we'll find out if he's a chameleon of an actor. Like
well, it worked for Dwayne Johnson, John.
It certainly did. He started off in The Tooth Fairy.
That's right,
absolute abominations like that. And then he became an all-out action hero. He's this generation's
Arnold
he did
the voice work as well,
He did, Obviously Moana, he played Maui. So, I mean, I don't think it's impossible that he can do it. I'll be intrigued because also this story being adapted from a classic song from 30s or something.
Yeah, 40s. I think the Jacksons, or Michael Jackson at least, really made it famous in the 1970s, but
Yeah, Stephen, look, it'll be intriguing to see. I don't think it'll be coming out this Christmas, unless they're doing remote voice acting, which is certainly a possibility. I would have thought it could perhaps.
Yeah, there's no release date, so I think it's just talk just now. They're just
maybe next Christmas.
Yeah, I think
not
so.
This Christmas,
I think it might
Christmas.
be next Christmas, but we'll keep
they're
our
not
eyes.
fitting it into December anyway.
We'll keep our eyes peeled, and who knows? It might be released on a streaming channel, a streaming platform. At that point anyway.
Who's
maybe
the studio, incidentally?
I don't know actually. I don't really know, but I'm going to move on, John.
Yes.
Anyway, to another
That's a correct decision.
piece of art, animation. It's Spider-Verse 2.
Yes.
Animation will be even more visually dazzling than the first. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 producer Christopher Miller reveals the sequel's animation will be even mind-blowing than the first. Now, he hopped onto Twitter to discuss the groundbreaking art techniques going into the Spider-Verse 2. Per Miller, these techniques are already blowing me away, he says, and they will even make the first movie look quaint. Oh, wow, that is a statement and a half, John. We were talking about. I don't know if it was when we did the review a few weeks ago. We were talking about what would it have been, because we were talking about obviously the animation and how impressive it was. We hark back to 2005. So I'm going to say A Scanner Darkly.
Round about that mark.
Yeah, and I remember at the time thinking it doesn't get any better than this. How wrong was I? 15 years on, it does get better than this. Well, it got better than this 2 years ago with Into the Spider-Verse, John. I don't know how they can top it. I really don't. Without it just being live action, this is going to be this is an animated film. How far does it go before you're watching live action, or you believe you're watching live action?
Virtual reality, perhaps, and you're thrust into the actual shoes of Miles Morales. I don't know how you could further the sort of technical progression that we've seen from, as you did say, the likes of A Scanner Darkly, to what's, for me, the gold standard in sort of animation with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it also done, Stephen. I mean, you go back and watch the likes of the Scorpion King from 17 years ago or something, 2003 or something like that. That came out. Absolutely god awful. Some of the CG that was being put to film back then, you see the progression in CG through to, as I keep saying it, Peter Rabbit and the likes of Paddington, it's mind blowing. You're seeing like the matted fur and hair.
You start to take it for granted though, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You take it for granted, the progression, but there's got to be a glass ceiling for progression at some point.
Yep.
Or, like you says, it will just be like watching live action, but the two will be indistinguishable. So I don't know how they're going to up the game, and it's going to be even more mind-blowing than the first instalment, because one of the sort of quaint things of the first instalment was the fact that you had several different artistic styles. You had Spider-Noir, Spider-Ham, you had Gwen, Spider-Gwen, and the other one, the sort of anime style. They were all different styles, all fighting it out on the screen, and just the sort of juxtaposition of these different styles, that's what made that movie so...
I think there becomes a point though, John, that the audience, the fans of this franchise, don't really care about that. And I don't mean that they don't appreciate, obviously, the work it goes into 80 animators or whatever it was. But,
it was more, was it not? 120 or
was it? I can't remember, John, to be honest with you. But when you look at the likes of The Lion King that came out last year, stunning looking film, a lot of people, they weren't that bothered about how it looked in terms of... Yeah, exactly,
It didn't have the soul of the first movie, it didn't.
But it looked amazing, just the detail as you were mentioning, and you saw every sort of piece of fur on those animals, etc. The feathers, and they look so realistic. But there does come a point, John, where you can't rely on that. I know they won't do this in Into the Spider-Verse 2. They've got terrific writers there. Chris Miller being one of them. I can't wait to see the film, but I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to be able to better this. I was on board anyway. We said this after the review, but we'll be there. Yeah. Probably first night it's released anyway, because we're big fans of the first film anyway.
Absolutely, Stephen. You touched upon Lion King. That for me, even Favreau. I recall he was being interviewed by what's he called? The guy from BBC. Doesn't even matter. He was being involved and interviewed by that guy at the BBC, and they touched upon what you would call the CG in that movie, because there was a lot of controversy over it. It's not technically an animated movie, and he says hyper realistic CGI. So that's almost on another level again to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's just almost indistinguishable, as I did say, from the real world. Also the lines and whatnot, you can tell they're CG still, but the actual landscapes. So even that's on a different level. But this, I don't think we'll ever get to that stage with this. I think the sort of charm of this movie is, it's the artistic style strange. It's as you mentioned, it's like an offshoot of A Scanner Darkly. It's just got that vibe to it. It's different visually. It's got a sort of, it's hard to explain it.
Yeah,
I
mean, the different, you know, for all the characters, they've all got different styles, and that's one of the things I appreciated about the first movie.
Even Miles Morales, it's a sort of cartoonish realism, and it's different. But what made it so good, Stephen, again, is the fact that they shot it like a live-action movie. It wasn't shot like an animated movie. It had virtual cameras that panned and followed the characters within this movie as if they were actually on set, on location, maybe in front of a blue screen. So it wasn't shot like an animated movie where there's unrealistic camera movements and angles. It followed them like an actual real movie set. So that's what made that movie so well shot and so nice to watch on the eyes. Again, I don't know how Christopher Miller and the people involved are going to make that better. I don't know how they're going to make the story better, but look, I'm absolutely confident that they will come up trumps and give us a very, very good movie. Whether it tops the original one, I don't know, because for me that's the second best Spider-Man movie ever put into existence. So they've got their hands full trying to beat it. But I've got confidence they'll give us a really good movie regardless. If it's probably, I think it will surround Spider-Man, also Miles Morales, and Spider-Gwen Stefani.
Oh, yeah.
Gwen Stefani?
No.
Not Gwen Stefani.
Unless she's got a number in there, John. It's a musical, I don't know.
Gwen Stefani. Do you know
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, I was watching Off the Ball the other day and it was Kevin Kelsey as Robbie Williams instead of Robbie Nielsen. So
I thought you had an exclusive there, John, for a minute.
Gwen Stefani's coming in to play Gwen Stacy, yes. No. But Steve, I think it will surround those two characters.
Yeah.
And that's what the heart of the story will be. And it may even set up a Spider-Gwen movie in the live-action side of things.
I think you predicted that when we did the review, didn't you? That this could be the setup for it. And I wouldn't mind that at all because she was a very good character, John, you know, and I think there's a lot of potential in that character as well. But listen, we're going to move on from one sequel to the next. It's Jurassic World 3. Sam Neill, Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum are in the whole movie. Jurassic Park's Sam Neill says that he, Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum have significant roles in Jurassic World 3 and will be in the whole movie. Darth Vader wasn't even in the whole movie, I knew, but I don't think that's what he means.
In the whole movie, not a chance.
But Sam Neill says that he and original Jurassic Park stars Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum have significant roles in Jurassic World Dominion, rather than just cameos. The sixth film in the franchise and the third in the Jurassic World trilogy is gearing up to start shooting again after production was shut down and delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. John, Jeff Goldblum appeared in the last movie.
Very limited.
Very limited.
So
it was
disappointing.
The very beginning and the very end.
It was essentially the trailer.
As Dr. Ian Malcolm. Now, a lot of people were bummed at that. You know, I don't know. I always like the distinction between the two trilogies. You know, and it's all right to have sort of links to them and stuff like that. And for me, I felt it was the right thing to do. You know, but if this is going to be the last film, I don't know if it is or not.
Oh no chance.
It might be for the Jurassic World trilogy. You know, it's a nice tie-in to have all the sort of OG characters back, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Stephen, look, I'm happy about this. I grew up with Jurassic Park. First movie I ever went to see in the theatres as a young child. I was probably 4 years old. Was Jurassic Park, the original one, Spielberg. What a start to my film-going sort of life. Getting into a Steven Spielberg blockbuster, classic, one that started the sort of ideas of the prequel trilogy for George Lucas. He was so blown away by the CG and the effects and whatnot.
From his own company.
From his own company, he realised that he could now do Star Wars the way that he'd envisaged all those years ago. Yeah. So what a start that was for me. So I grew up watching these movies.
It brought us Jar Jar Binks.
I don't know. The CG was good at the time, I have to say. I'm not going to lie, Steve. I was a fan of Jar Jar when I was a young guy.
I'm still impressed with how he looks even now, John, after 21 years. I don't.
It's not aged terrible.
Yeah, it's not at all. You know, and it was groundbreaking at the time. You've got to appreciate that.
But look, what I'm getting at is Jurassic Park. It was a franchise I grew up with. I was well invested in it, and I love these characters, so it's good to see them coming back. It was great to see Jeff Goldblum coming back, as you said, as Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
And Fallen Kingdom, I want to say, and the second one was G.A.B.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So again, even though he was in a very minor role, it was still good to see a familiar face popping back into the world, letting us know this is the same universe. We have new characters with Chris Pratt and obviously Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Even just now, I don't know what their names are. I'm not that invested in the story. Not like I was as a child with Jurassic Park. That's not to do down on the Jurassic World movies. They are pretty damn decent. The first one was not too bad. Second one was slightly disappointing in the way it split and went off into a sort of rich guy billionaire's mansion for the second half of the movie. It turned into a sort of siege horror with this sort of velociraptor thing chasing after them. Slightly disappointing. I would have liked them to have stayed on the island a little bit longer. Didn't happen. But there's still been decent movies, and it's going to be nice to see the likes of Sam Neill and obviously Laura Dern coming back to bolster the likes of Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard and Jeff Goldblum once again. It's just, again, it's a nice little fan service, and it's nice to see them not just popping in for a brief hi and then bye again.
No.
They'll have sizable roles. They aren't going to be in the whole movie. That's absolute nonsense. They'll be in sizable roles, but they'll probably survive through to the bit. It's kind of a spoiler as well when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's essentially saying they'll be in the whole movie, so they're not dying. So the stakes are gone when these guys are on the screen now. So that's a bit crap.
Well, apparently, John.
Unless they're in sort of some safe environment.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to have meter roles, John. You're right, because it does say, I can't actually find the word in this article, but it did say somewhere in this, news that they are on location for a few months. So you don't do that if you're just going to be in it for 2 minutes or whatever. They seem to be in this quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see how they mix with the already established characters for this trilogy as well, and how much screen time they're going to get. I don't want the likes of the characters, the two main characters from this trilogy, being overshadowed by the appearance of the original characters from Jurassic Park. I don't think they were in the 3 films, really. I think Sam Neill was only in 2 of them, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think the children are not coming back either, are they,
No,
Stephen?
I don't think so.
A little bummed about that, I recall. Yeah, I don't think he was. I think he got out at the right time.
Yeah, I think he did the first 2, I'm sure. Pretty sure. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's been a very, very long time since I've seen them, Stephen. I've not went back. There's no need to, really. Once you've seen them, I've seen them a lot in the 90s, as I say, growing up as a child.
Particularly the first one.
Yeah, that's the best. It's still the best.
It's like we were talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the other day, and it's that first film seems to stand out, and it's very similar to Jurassic Park, where the sequels just didn't live up to it. It certainly wasn't like an Empire Strikes Back or anything like that. No. They just seem to diminish, as every sequel's released.
Most franchises do, though, Stephen. You see ever diminishing returns as the sequels move on. There's not many that have not been like that. Perhaps Back to the Future was another one which sort of mirrored Star Wars.
To a point, yeah.
And then obviously you've got, what's that other one? Hotel Transylvania. That seems to get better as it goes on. They earn more money. There's a few exceptions, but most of the time it's ever diminishing returns. So
yeah, we're going to move on.
With this, though, Steve.
Got a little bit of Marvel news, John, coming in. It's been a bit quiet of late, but Marvel's Shang-Chi movie restarts production by the end of July. Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings movie is planned to resume production by the end of July after a 4-month pause. The possibility of Shang-Chi resuming production in late July would mean that the work stoppage will come to an end roughly 4 months after it began. At this time, Marvel Studios has the film slated to hit theatres in May of 2021, so this return could allow for the release date to be met as long as more delays do not come. Now, that's wishful thinking, I think. I don't think we're over the worst of what we've all been experiencing over the last 3 months. Certainly,
not in certain parts of the world.
Well, certainly not in New York and LA, John.
No.
They've had it rough for the last couple of weeks. But what's your take on this, that it could start production by late July, John?
I think it's promising. It's great to see these movies getting back to production. I've spoke about The Matrix 4. It's coming back. I think it's actually resumed. We've also got Avatar 2. It's resumed over in New Zealand. I think Mission Impossible 7 set to resume shortly. It's very promising to see these big blockbuster movies once again starting to resume shooting. It's a degree of normality coming back. And also, it allows us to start looking forward to these movies eventually coming out because they have to be finished.
Yeah.
And I want to see this continuation of the MCU into a new phase, a new era with new characters. This guy, I'm really excited about this character. And I like just the concept of him being a man out of time. From what I'm reading from the comics, and apparently he also he's disenfranchised from his father. He comes over to the United States, joins up with these new guys, the Avengers and whatnot, and he's just the sort of outsider, like almost I've completely blank. Steve Rogers did. He was a man out of time from the 1940s, obviously. So I'm liking this guy. I'm liking the fact he's not a traditional sort of superhero figure. He's a sort of more grounded Hawkeye, Black Widow style character. And I want to see this movie getting finished. So it's good to see that the production is finally rolling around. But Stephen, I don't see this movie coming out. What do you say, July next year? June, July next
June,
year?
I think I said.
Yeah, it's not coming out in June next year. Not a chance. Because we're already getting movies getting delayed again and again and again. Tenet, Mulan being delayed from potentially August again into September. That's just eating up some of the release slots left at the end of this year. The likes of No Time to Die. We've got June still to come out. Eternals, I'd imagine, slipping. Was Eternals supposed to be coming out this year? I think that was next year, wasn't it?
Beginning of next year, yeah.
So you're going to have a whole lot of movies coming out in a very short period of time between now and June next year. I see it getting pushed at best till late next year, maybe even the year after, 2022. So I don't think it makes much difference, is what I'm saying essentially.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be other movies prioritised.
Well, that's it, John.
You've
got to look at the sort of the other end of the production side of things. Once everything's in the can, once everything's ready to be released, it doesn't mean it's ready to go out because, as you said, you're going to have that backlog. And trying to find those slots because everything's changed now. Everything's changed since that Phase 4 announcement. Just because of the lockdown for the last 4 months, and we're not out of the woods yet. So it
was May, Stephen.
Was it May?
Not a chance.
No chance. No, not at all. I don't see it.
7 in a million months of Sundays.
Yeah,
that would essentially be like Groundhog Day, which I'm sure we'll be getting into very shortly as well, Stephen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see Simu Liu, I think, is a guy who's going to be the master of Kung Fu in this movie. Seems like a very grounded, likeable guy. And it just seemed, Kevin Feige and the people responsible for casting these actors, they just seem to know what sort of personalities are going to fit in well. Perhaps Brie Larson's not a good example of that. Although I still maintain, although some of her views are a little bit dodgy at times, I still maintain she's playing a sort of long-running joke and she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
There's no way the likes of Don Cheadle and stuff like that hate her like they're showing in these press junkets. I think it's a sort of joke between them.
It's elaborate.
Yeah, it's elaborate.
It's very elaborate. Very complex.
Yeah, I think it's a joke. I think it's just during the press junkets they just take the piss essentially.
Title of that, she's got thick skin.
Oh, she's got very thick skin. Yeah. But what I'm saying is they just seem to know in general how to cast actors. They know what sort of personalities are going to come in and fit into the jigsaw puzzle, and this guy looks as though he's going to fit in beautifully. And you're going to need personality and charisma after the loss of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. So and also Scarlett Johansson as well. So very much looking forward to this guy and what part he's going to play in this MCU, and hopefully Shang-Chi and the Legend of the
It's one of the things. It's one of the things I do love about this studio, John. They're not afraid to take a chance. Even back to that first film, 2008's Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Not the biggest star in Hollywood at the time, not the biggest character in Marvel. Yeah, and this is the one that opens it up. So they've got record, they've got previous for pulling it out the hat when everyone thought it wouldn't work. So I'm not saying that's the case for Shang-Chi. I think most people are on board for this and looking forward to it. It's something different. That's what I'm excited about. It's something different from the MCU. But John, we're going to move on to our final topic. You're right, Groundhog Day is slotting in here again, and we're up at Gobbler's Knob. It's Stephen Tobolowsky's reveals Groundhog Day series in the work. He reveals by saying 2 words, John, in this article, but it's... I don't know if we're grasping at straws here, but in an interview with the Production Meeting podcast, co-star Stephen Tobolowsky revealed that while working on the Sony lot on one of its ABC co-productions, The Goldbergs or spin-off Schooled, he was pulled aside by a producer and told that they were developing a series and asked if he would reprise his role as iconic nag Ned Ryerson, bing, to which he said, yeah, sure. The 69-year-old star didn't reveal any further details as to who is penning the script or other stars involved, but he did confirm it would pick up 30 years after the events of the first film. Now, there's not a lot to go on in this, John, and we're big fans of Groundhog Day, of course. Bill Murray's and Harold Ramis obviously directed it and co-wrote it. We did the review again. We did it twice, of course, because of sound issues the first time. But we love it that much. What's your take on this? How would this work in a television series, John? Because it's something I never thought. I don't think it's possible. I don't know how it would work. You can't have a sequel to the film or anything like that. No. It wouldn't work. So how would a television series be any different?
Well, Stephen, I don't think Bill Murray will be back, and I don't think that Andy McDowell will be back, and I certainly don't think Stephen Tobolowsky will be back either. I think that's probably why he just gave a two-word answer. Yeah, sure. Would he like to come back and play the character again? Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Ned the Head, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure he would have loved to come back and play it, but I don't think it would make much sense in terms of continuity and what they'd want to be doing with a TV show. You can't have it following the same characters again. That story's concluded. And it tarnished the original movie, which is a modern day classic for me. As you says, Bill Murray and obviously Harold Ramis, whatever you want to call it, working together to great effect. I don't want to see them tampering about with that movie. It's like tampering about with other great self-contained standalone movies. Like maybe come back and doing a TV show based on the Shawshank Redemption or something like that. Not a chance. We don't want to see that crap.
That's the cell block H style.
Yes. Maybe follow William Sadler's. What the hell was that guy's? His character's name again?
Oh, I can't remember.
Dumbass. He was a dumbass. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't want to see it. I wouldn't want to see a continuation of the original movie. But if they can maybe do a sort of, I keep getting it wrong. The X-Files Monday, yeah. It's not Tuesday. If they can do something like that with a new set of characters, maybe in a new location.
But in a television series.
Yeah, and it has to be in this. It has to be in Punxsutawney because it's called Groundhog Day, I'd presume.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'd have to bring in new characters in the same environment and just maybe tell the story over it. Would it be a mini series?
I don't like the sound of this, John.
Yeah,
you're not selling it to me anyway.
Yeah, I'm not selling it to myself either, Stephen.
No.
But yeah, I mean,
if I want to see some Groundhog Day, I'll watch the 1993 film. I'm
Absolutely. Yeah, I just don't see how they would match the brilliance. Harold Ramis is not there anymore.
No.
His writing brilliance is not there. The guy just knew how to channel comedy in different tones and genres and bring them all together into a great homogeneous sort of melting pot. Now you take that away, it loses something palpable. If you've not got Bill Murray's wisecracking sort of cheeky, charismatic delivery of lines, then it loses something. And if you've not got Stephen Tobolowsky's Ned character shouting, what was it, Larry? What was his name again? It wasn't Larry, that was the other guy. What the hell was his goddamn name? Phil Connors.
Phil
Connors. If you've not got that, then it's no.
He did the whistle. What is it? The whistling belly button trick. At, high school. I don't know if he won it or not.
No, I don't think he would have. No, it sums the guy up, doesn't it? Very beige. He's a beige guy with a very shiny head. But Stephen, no, I digress. In the ending conclusion, if you'd like from me, anyway. I don't know if you're done.
I've got nothing more to say on Groundhog Day.
See another Groundhog Day sort of story adaptation of any kind. But look, guys, that's going to round up the show today, tonight, wherever you are, whatever time it may be. What's your thoughts on the Jason Momoa story? Do you think he's a good fit to play Frosty the Snowman? What's your thoughts on Spider-Verse 2 and the producer saying it will be even more mind-blowing in the visuals than the original? What do you make about the likes of Sam Neill and Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum being in the entirety of Jurassic World Dominion, whatever the hell it's called? What do you make about Shang-Chi coming back to shoot? And do you want to see a Groundhog Day TV show with none of the original characters, none of the Harold Ramis brilliance? If you've got anything to say about anything, you can comment below and let me know. And Stephen, what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel.
Bing.
If you want to see what it is like Groundhog Day. It's the exact same thing I say at the end again and again. I should just take a loop, maybe a pre-recorded video of myself and put it in. No one will notice. But look, guys, I digress. If you subscribe, you'll see us again tomorrow for our review of You Should Have Left.